Wood. Elements of Japanese architecture. Wood is one of the most important elements in Japanese architecture and has been used for centuries in traditional buildings. There are several reasons why wood is preferred as the main building material in Japan. This is from website nippon.com. The topic is about wood, and Japanese architecture. Traditional Japanese architectures relies on wood as a building material developed largely in response to Japan's human development, particularly the warm, wet summer months. Light floors and open spaces ensure proper ventilation to fight the buildup of toxic mold. Wood post and beam construction is also useful when designing for typhoon or earthquake resistant. Recently, a European architecture student asked me historically why the Japanese almost exclusive with wood even though fires were so common. Fire is certainly a problem for Japanese wood construction, a fact reflected in the strictness of current fire mitigation codes. However, it appears to have been the last of frequent natural disaster that dropped traditional Japanese building forms. Three other considerations were more pleasant: mood, typhoon, earthquakes, in that order. A constant pleasant mood plagues 20th century buildings all around the world. In the drive for energy efficiency, developed countries introduced new methods of insulation and pushed to limit airflow between the inside and outside houses. Unfortunately, mood-related problems and sick house syndrome some prove that moisture control and proper ventilation are absolutely necessary to the health of inhabitants. To achieve this, contemporary construction relies on structural and mechanical ventilation that adds significantly to the cost and complexity of buildings. Much of Japan has ideal conditions for most and many other types of fugi. Temperatures rarely drop below freezing, at least above 35 Celsius, providing an ideal topology band for clouds. Most importantly, the humidity can lie above 70% for weeks at a time, particularly during the warm summer months. On the onset of the rainy season is when mold can become truly destructive. Women caution that long hair may mildew if not properly dry, and countless pairs of shoes have moderate white setup in a shoe closet. Traditional wood construction fought most by leasing the building above ground level and leaving walls mostly open so that air can flow freely under, around, and through the entire interior space. Buildings over 300 years old still in their original state are usually lightly inhabited, containing very little furniture and few other fittings. Temples, shrines, palaces, and homes of the traditionally wealthy fit in this category. Private homes were typically built with heavy timbers and excellent natural ventilation, since relative humidity can be high even in winter. They had abundant airflow even when set to the outside elements through spaces between wooden shutters and paper doors between walls and roof, and frequently through an entirely open smoke outlet. All of the ventilation served to make traditional Japanese homes very comfortable in summer but seriously uncomfortable in winter. However, wearing many layers of corsets and getting chilblains on your fingers was apparently a small price to pay for avoiding mood. The culture of 30-year house, ancient Chinese Slavonic clays, sorry if I spelled wrong, noted that the religious observances of the peoples of the Japanese archipelago concerns mainly cleanliness and polity, elements that mark many cultural religions practices to this day. The facility of most ground in Japan could in part help explain why the culture of cleanliness was so prevalent and why impolity remains taboo. Japan is widely perceived to be very traditional, but there is a strong prevalence among Japanese for the new. Major construction companies make no secret of the fact that they design their homes to last approximately 30 years, after which their house is expected to be torn down and replaced. The idea that the house is owned after only 30 years is astonishing to Western construction professionals, but the building is perfect means of anti-eliminating mold and insect infestation, non-trivial concerns in Japanese climate. This culture of frequent rebuilding has ancient roots as well. Until the 8th century CE, the death of an emperor was caused to move the palace, and in some cases, the anti-imperial capital. Political motives aside, such an idea is only possible if built structures are viewed as relatively impermanent. This idea is apparent in many experts of culture during the Edo period, 1603–1868. A popular saying was that fire was one of Edo's two flowers, since the city boom frequently surrounded in straws and wood block plains during the period. That conflagrations significantly lower and average lifetime of buildings. Moving a house meant discarding everything but the timber structure, disassembling that framework, resembling the timbers with a flat roof and inferior walls. Any parts that may have become rotten were replaced at this time. The disprove an idea weighing to mitigate any damage from moth and insects while preserving the economic benefit of the most durable parts of a house. Indeed, we rely extremely on recycled beams and columns in many farmhouses today, where lumber was refilled from previous construction. You can go to find more data in nipon.com, nippon.com. It's about the architecture, Japanese architecture. So, in conclusion, use of wood as the main building element in Japanese architecture has been shaped by a variety of factors including availability, flexibility, durability, and sustainability. Its use has resulted in the creations of some of the most beautiful and iconic buildings in the world.